All right. Hello, hi everyone. My name is Greg. I'm a sailor and a returning crew on Saga 47 Swan. And today we are here in the Faroe Islands, and I will tell you a little bit about my sailing kit and what I bring with myself on the Saga adventures. I know that this is a topic that you often ask about, so we thought that it would be helpful to provide a video to demonstrate how someone puts together their kit for these trips. This is a standard issue 45-liter sea bag. This particular one is a Musto, but obviously you can use whatever you prefer. It's really important to note that I do check my bag in. This is about 17 kilos, that's about 35 pounds. And it pretty much holds all the kit that I need for a nine-day trip. I also have a small carry-on, which is just a standard backpack, and that holds some of my essentials. So between these two bags, I'm pretty much covered for a 9 to 14 days coastal or offshore trip. Alright, so the next thing that I want to cover is some of the most important essentials that you need to bring with yourself onto a Saga adventure. So let me just open up my bag and show you how these essentials fit. So the first thing that you'll definitely need is a pair of sea boots. And this is really important because you ultimately need to keep your feet dry in all conditions. So I definitely would not leave without a pair of these. The second most important thing is a really good quality wet weather gear. I get mine from Helly Hansen, but you can get any other reputable brand that you prefer, and it usually comes as a salopette and a large jacket that has plenty of room under it, so that you can put additional layers under your wet weather gear. So that takes up actually quite a lot of your sea bag, and you need to make sure that ultimately you have those three items, because it's critical that you have a good quality of those. Alright, so the next thing that you'll need is a really good 4-season sleeping bag. Especially offshore, the weather can get quite cold. You don't know what you'll need. You don't know what conditions you'll be facing. So you really need to make sure that when you're off your watch and when you're resting, you're comfortable in your bunk. And I really like a packable, compressible 4-season sleeping bag. So I really recommend you to get a really good one of these. Alright, so the next thing that I always take on these sailing trips is some really kind of compact base layers. And I have 7 of these in one of these standard packing cubes. I really find it helpful to have a clean base layer top for every day. I usually wash these throughout the trips as well. I use high SPF, high water resistant base layers, and again, I really recommend you to get a few of these, because it's really going to help you sort of feel dry and comfortable in all weather conditions. So then, in the next packing cube, which is the same size as the previous one, I have 2 microfiber fleeces, similar to the one that I'm wearing, and a couple of running leggings. And those are the next layers that I always wear. Again, incredibly versatile. They dry well, they wick well, and they will serve you well in all conditions. So I pack those into the next packing cube. Then the next 2 packing cubes I have are my socks and my underwear. When it comes to socks, I prefer merino wool, any brand that you can get, and as many as you need. Usually I like to have a clean pair for every day of the trip. Again, this is something that you can quite easily wash, and they don't take up that much space. Then the next important thing, and then now we're kind of getting into the specifics here, is to have a really good setup for your wash bag. And what typically people recommend in the sailing community is for you to have a good tote bag that holds everything that you need for the facilities. I have a wash bag here, I have some flip-flops, I have a microfiber towel, and this is essentially my go-to kit when I go offshore and when I use the facilities. So again, if you put these together, that will serve you really well, and it's an absolute essential. So then now here we're getting into some of my personal preferences. I also have another bag here with my workout gear. When we are in marinas, when we are in close to land, I like to go for runs, and I always carry a full set of running gear that I can again wash, recycle, use as a secondary base layer if I need some additional clothes. So that's another important sort of component of my kit. And then I have another bag here which I usually try to put into something that is a different color than all of my other kit. I use a green one here with some knickknacks that I find really useful and helpful for trips like these. So I have a medical kit here with some medicine that might come handy on these trips. I have a head torch and a few other really important essentials like gloves, a beanie, and a few other things. So these are essentially my personal preferences in terms of what do I need as sort of ancillary accessories to complement my kit. Alright, so the last couple of items that we haven't covered, other than the sea boots, is footwear. So this is again very personal. There are many different configurations depending on what your preferences are that you can go with. I usually travel in a pair of trail running shoes because I find them really versatile. I can go for my runs in them, I can use them as a shore going kit, but obviously you'll need a few pairs of shoes for your sailing on deck. And I have two different kinds of deck shoes here. I actually carry both of these pairs. I have a traditional pair of Sabagos, which are more traditional, I suppose, and then I have another pair of sort of Helly Hansen deck shoes, which are breathable and more water resistant than the Sabagos. So I don't think you need both of these pairs. It's really coming down to your preferences, but I would definitely include at least one of these options in my kit. Okay, so we're really coming to the end here and my bag is almost empty. One of the last items that you'll definitely need, and I know that this is on the Saga packing list as well, is a pillow. Again, personal preference, the size and the type that you need. I have a standard, what you would consider a small pillow in here that I use and I can kind of fit well in my bunk, and that fits in my sea bag as well. And then in addition to my pillow, there are a few other items that I find really important, and again, it's kind of coming down to your own personal preferences. But I have an iPad that I carry with me, which is great for navigation, for entertainment, for whatever you need. And then I also carry a Kindle to keep me occupied on passages off watch. And then finally, one of the last and most important items is a really good quality mug. You do need and want a hot drink, especially when it's cold outside. This particular one has a handle, which is quite good on Saga specifically because there is a rail around the steering column that you can hang this particular mug. So if you can get something like this, that will come in really handy, and it will serve you really well. Alright, so now that we covered what was in my bag, let's talk a little bit about how we store things on Saga and how this is actually gonna work when you're on board. So now that my bag is empty, I will fold this up, and there is a specific place where the folded up sea bags go on the boat. So this isn't essentially where you will keep your belongings. They will all have to be stowed away. Most of my kit, including all these packing cubes that I have showed, will go under my bunk into this compartment, and I can safely say that everything that was in this sea bag can fit into this compartment. So it's actually quite spacious. So I wouldn't worry about not being able to fit things in there. The only things that won't go into this compartment are my wet weather gear, so my salopet and my large jacket, and my sea boots, which will all go into a hanging locker, and they essentially live there when we're off watch and when we're not using the kit. So that's how you stow everything away on Saga, and hopefully this sort of shows that it's doable to pack everything into a 45-liter bag in a small backpack that you'll need. And I really do hope that you find this video helpful and that you enjoy your forthcoming trips on Saga.